WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park.
WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Good morning. This is Joel Haashim. I'm a candidate for mayor of the city of Detroit. I wanted to come on to share something about our candidacy and our platform. It's been said that we have the most powerful platform and vision for the city of Detroit that any candidate for the last 40 years. However, there are not many of you that are familiar with me, so I just want to take a few moments to share who I am and a little bit about my background. I started elementary school here in Detroit at Rose Elementary, graduated Cooley High, and basically I am a real Detroiter. I've worked in many campaigns. I've supported many candidates, but I've always been in the background. Now, it's time for me to step up and to share my skills with the city of Detroit. My mother was a minister known as Reverend Grace Gray. My daddy was Reverend Gray. And we basically grew up in a Christian household. However, I started around the age of 10 going to Vaughn's bookstore, where we were taught Afrocentric mindsets. Vaughn has been a mentor of mine, and so basically that is when I started to connect to the community. At 12 years old, I went to the Nation of Islam all the way through my high school years, and basically continued to work with other groups and organizations in the city of Detroit. At 20 years old, I opened up my first business, Brothers Party Store, on Hartwell and West 7 Mile. From there, I opened up 2 other stores in the city of Detroit. And then I went into wholesaling, where we started selling to stores in the city of Detroit, pantyhose, jewelry, etc. At that time, we got associated with Spartan Chain, and that was my first opportunity to start selling to chain stores. So we've been selling to chain stores for a number of years, where I went to different parts of the world, purchased products, brought them back and sold them to purchasing agents of large chain stores. Basically, there has been no one in the city of Detroit that has ever had a platform that totally empowered the people of the city of Detroit. Outside of homicide and violent crime, our most important issue is empowerment for our community. Without empowerment of our community, we continue to have the same problems over and over and over. That is not going to change unless some candidate, some mayor, produces the environment for our community to prosper. So the issue is, how do we as a community sit at the table of prosperity? No one is speaking about how we're going to reverse the situation here in the city of Detroit for our community. Our community is important because we are 70 plus the majority population. Now, at this time, no one is speaking about what is needed. So what we want to do here in the city of Detroit is take Detroit out of bankruptcy and put it into make it a flourishing city. How do we do that? Well, what is the responsibility of government? The responsibility of government is to serve the people. And so if the incumbent has been in office for 8 years come November and has not changed the poverty rate in the city, lowered it. When the incumbent came in office, the poverty rate for the city of Detroit was 30%. Before the pandemic, it reached 50%. And we're losing population as a community. So this is very important to note, that if the poverty rate went up to 50% before the pandemic, this means that everything that this incumbent has touched has not been successful for the city of Detroit, has not empowered the people of the city of Detroit. And we should be understanding that if we're not empowering our community, our children and our grandchildren are going to suffer. And this is something that is very serious. So for that reason, I've stepped into the campaign race or the mayoral race to make sure that someone stands for the people. Someone has a vision and a plan for the city of Detroit. It's said that without a vision, the people perish. Well, we have a vision that will make Detroit an international city. We heard this for years. However, not one candidate has actually made Detroit an international city, even though Detroit has been on the map because of its industrial revolution and because of music that was made in the city of Detroit. The world got an opportunity to see our community. The world is waiting for us to step in. We have what we need to be an international city. Detroit is a rich city. It has land, it has water, has the ability to make cheap energy. And whenever you have those components, now you have to look at who is running the city. Because what is happening is the corporations and the rich have gotten control of the city of Detroit for the last 25 years or more, and they have enriched themselves with the assets of the city of Detroit. As mayor of the city of Detroit, I will make sure that the assets of the city of Detroit serve the people. So understanding that the government is the one that makes or is the responsible for producing an environment for the community to be prosperous. Obviously, the head of the government now has not done this, and so we need new leadership, we need change, we need someone who has a vision and a platform that will empower the people of the city of Detroit. At some point, I remember when I was in school and I had an auto mechanics class, we had no engines, no tools, and our teacher, Mr. Peoples, former council person, took us on field trips, and at that time, we got an opportunity to see what was in the suburbs and other schools, where they had engines, where they had tools. So now, some 60 years later, our children are faced with the same scenario. I want to change that as mayor. So pay close attention to what you're about to see now, and you'll get an understanding as to what our platform is. So you can see us on Facebook at Joel Haashim for Mayor. We have some 70 points to our platform. Thank you, and thank you for allowing the writing candidates to speak. I appreciate it. I'm Joel Haashim. I'm a candidate for mayor of the city of Detroit. We have a 70-point platform for the city of Detroit. We have a platform that the corporations and the rich do not want to see implemented. It is an empowerment platform for the people of the city of Detroit. First and foremost, for the last 6 years, I've advocated that Detroit needed a public bank. Last week, I spoke on it at 2 different locations. And I was the only one proposing this platform, that we get a public bank or a municipal bank. This is very important because this will solve 70% of Detroit's financial problems and our community's problems as it relates to affordable housing, as it relates to monetizing bonds, as it relates to being able to go to the Fed and get low interest loans from the Fed so that that bank can do like other banks when it comes to lending out money at higher interest rates. That's how banks make money, right? Most of their income comes from that source. So now, it's not often that we get a tool that has multi-capabilities of fixing problems. A public bank is one of those financial tools that will correct most of the problems in the city of Detroit. Now, the state of California, the largest economy in the country, region-wise, they, this past Tuesday and Wednesday, put in a public bank by law for the state of California. So if it was good for California, it's certainly good for Detroit. Now, these are some of the benefits of a public bank. Not only would it solve the problems in Detroit, but most of urban America. So the corporations and the rich do not want to see this platform. First and foremost, the city's building department. We will expand that building department. For people who live in the city of Detroit and want to learn the building trades, we will start building homes, affordable quality homes in the city of Detroit. We'll give those people who have those building trades skills, jobs. So now we're creating jobs. Detroit is a rich city, has a lot of land. And within 4 years of this program, the city treasury will take in $10 billion. How so? Since the politicians and the corporations, the builders, they do under the table deals with Detroit's assets. That's why the city is being ran by the corporations and the rich. So what we would do is make those assets workable for the people. So we would take the empty lots here in the city of Detroit, we will build those homes, and the city will hold the mortgage. Now, as a result of that, not only have we created jobs, but now we can take the taxes off your homes, and we can make Detroit the lowest tax-based city in Michigan and amongst the top in the country, all right? So basically, this will, by the way, I've been around the world selling building systems, so I know how to build a quality home. They always speak about affordable homes. They never speak about quality affordable homes, okay? So that's very important because the materials that they're using for these homes today, they're no good. And they're health hazards, and those materials begin to deteriorate over a short period of time. So that's the housing issue. Okay, we also have the ability to deal with the insurance situation in the city of Detroit. Auto insurance and homeowner insurance. Now this is the problem that's been here for what, 50 years for the city of Detroit. So what we would do, because we have a public bank, we can now put up a bond and put up supplemental insurance, and we'll call 3 large insurance companies who want to make more money. Right now, you have about 35 insurance companies writing policies in the city of Detroit. Of course, we know they're what? Robbing us with permission of the legislative body, reducing our disposable income. So what we would do is get those 3 companies to give us collectively a policy. What does this do? This means that our rates will have to come down 40 and 50%, not our coverage, our premiums. Also, what does this do? It also allows for these insurance companies to make more money than they would have made competing with the other 35 insurance companies that write policies in the city of Detroit. So that's for insurance. We have a platform that touches on the police department, what we would do, the overtaxation of homeowners. We have all types of points to address all of the problems here in the city of Detroit. Now, I'm gonna be respectful because I know we have other speakers. However, I'm more than willing to take questions on any subject and share with you what our platform is, if that's okay.
Okay, Ms. Nancy, you had a question?
Yes. Insurance companies have been around forever and a day. And they're very private, they're not ran by anything, and they're not controlled by anybody but themselves. How do you think that you'll be able to impose upon an organization as thick as thieves, and they are?
Great question. First and foremost, the insurance companies are in serious financial problems. We're in a capitalist society. It's dog eat dog. Those insurance companies are going to break. How so? Why? You see all types of national weather issues in this country, right? It's so now that the insurance companies are telling people who live on the coastal parts of America that we can't insure your home anymore. We can't insure your property anymore. Why? Because consistently they're receiving storms. So money right now and cash flow is a real big issue. So,
All of the businesses.
yes, ma'am.
Because what has happened, we already know that this country as well is bankrupt and has been bankrupt for centuries.
Yes, ma'am.
Work out of this unnecessary line. And now you
Yes.
have China that's been coming here because they're owed trillions of dollars and they're broke. They've taken over all the industry pretty much.
Yes, ma'am.
They're not able to work because they don't make the chip.
Good point.
And got, we not work. So how can you propose?
This is how we would do it. We'll go back to the public bank because banks are allowed to loan or up to 10 times their assets. So what does that mean? For example, we got 420 million coming this next payment from the Fed. You take $100 million, you put it in a public bank, you now just made 600 million if you want to go 6 times, you want to go 10 times, etc., right? So now what happens is I am connected to the Chinese government. I've done 6 trade delegations. I've taken Wayne County, the governor, and 34 U.S. corporations to different parts of the world. So I've done these trade delegations, and what the Chinese are telling me is that they want to do business in Detroit and they want to joint venture with us. So when it relates to the insurance companies, it's a dog-eat-dog capitalist society. If your insurance companies is going under, you're going to accept whatever terms or opportunity to make profit and stay in business, especially make more profit. So the fact that this is about money, and so they're going to jump on the bandwagon and increase their profits. You can bet on that. They're not going to go out of business, and they don't want to compete. We live in a capitalist society where the big corporations love to monopolize. So they don't care about those other insurance companies.
Okay.
So Joel Haashim, you can go on Facebook. You can see more of our platform. You're welcome to contact us through Facebook or call us on Messenger. But we have a 70-point platform. Thank you.
I have a question. As I listened and I made contact with a lot of the candidates in the write-ins, it came to my attention that if you guys don't make it to the victory poll, will you all you candidates, your write-ins, will you be willing to come together so that we can continue to build a plan so we can kill this corruption in this city and get down to the real business?
Yes, ma'am. Good point. And if I may just share, I'm willing to sit down if any candidate will take some of our platform, as I did with Coleman Young Jr. when I shared, he said he would take some of my platform. So I'm willing to work with any candidate now to make sure we get that incumbent out. And that can only happen with a sign of unity. Also, if I were to be mayor of the city of Detroit, I would bring all of the organizations and groups together collectively so we can ask a simple question: how can we help each other? And I will incorporate those groups, nonprofits, religious groups, etc., to be able to come and sit down, because unity is a big issue here in the city of Detroit.
Yeah. All right, you got a question? First, let's give them a round of applause.
Is the mayor authorized to do reparations, or would they have to come from the federal?
Yes, there are already cities in the United States that are bringing in reparations for the community. That is something we would be able to do. We already have it in our platform, how we will not only give back, but how we will go back years of all the things that the city of Detroit did when it was under control of the corporations and the rich. And I will make sure that we as a community receive the benefits of that. And one more thing, you can't do anything if you're not able to bring in revenue into the city of Detroit. Detroit is under bankruptcy, and our platform will take Detroit out of bankruptcy, out of the red, put it in the black, and make us from the poorest city to the richest city. That's how powerful our platform is.
And that's because you're going to establish the public banking?
Ma'am?
Is that because you're going to establish the public banking through your
That'd be
platform?
one of the first things we would do.
Okay.
That starts, the public bank, it starts money to circulate in our community. It can finance urban projects. One of the things I want to do, which is big on empowerment, is I want to set up a different group of empowerment zones, 7, based on population. The city now has the power. We've expanded the building department, and since the rich and the corporations have already took up most of the prime property, if our people want to go into business, they got to pay high rents. So the city will build these up to 70 units in different zones in the city, and city residents can go into business at reasonable rates, and the city will hold their hands so that to make sure that business is successful, and that causes our community to have money circulating in the community, which is a big issue.
So you have a question?
Yes, real quick. I have a question, since you raised this idea of revenue that the city can generate. I want to know what your opinion is on the Biden-Harris administration's Justice 40 initiative, Do you know what it is and how do you envision?
You saying the Biden initiative?
The Biden-Harris
Okay,
administration.
yes.
Initiative Justice 40. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
And so there are a boatload of money. There's a boatload of money coming to places. Some of that has already trickled into the city of Detroit.
Right.
That can obliterate any kind of deficit and what have you. And it's dedicated, we talked about reparations, so it's no coincidence that it's called Justice 40, 40 acres in the mule, right? Every dollar that comes to address infrastructure and all that, they are recommending 40% of those dollars go into communities like Detroit.
Yes.
And so I want to know what have you thought about in terms of ensuring that those dollars are dedicated to the priorities that
Yes, ma'am.
you've identified?
Well, good question. First of all, if we let the corporations and the rich stay in power, and we can't get our people out to vote to bring in change, very little of that money will reach our community. Why? Because they're setting up dummy companies and they've got their friends operating, so that money will not reach our community. One of the things that I hate to use the term, but we settle for baloney. And what they're going to do is what they're doing now. The incumbent is on TV. He's a new project every day. He's homes, jobs, etc. That's a mirage. That's an illusion. If he gets back in, you're not going to see any of that. So what we would do with that money is make sure it reaches the community. For example, people need their homes fixed. We got infrastructure issues, okay? So by the city having its own building department, we'll cut up all them people who are coming in the city, fixing up homes, because a lot of our seniors don't know or people don't know. Yeah. And they use bad materials, they get paid that money and they're gone, they won't come back and make repairs, etc. So we'll make sure that money reach the community. Yeah. But you first got to get those people out. That's number one.
That's good. Let's give them a round of applause.
One more question.
And we'll hold some questions so we can keep moving on.
Thank you. This video was done at Sumerian Center on Connor Street in Detroit. And it is, they had a candidates forum there. So I'm willing, as mayor, go to any community, any group to speak. Just contact us on Facebook. On Instagram, we're Joel H for mayor. On Facebook, we're Joel Haashim. Haashim, Haashim. So I want to thank you all for viewing this and to share with other people that there is a candidate available to stand for the people. As a write-in candidate, Joel Haashim, I have the best platform, the best vision for our community. So thank you very much for watching, and make sure you get your children, your grandchildren, and yourselves out to vote. We need your support. We're going up against the corporations and the rich, and we need to utilize our people power for change. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.